Okay. Where's my camera? This is just great. Hello everyone, and welcome to Call It Crits. And I'm just going to do. I'm just going to make it so that people can actually see me, which would be lovely. And then we can get on. Where is my camera? Where's just stuff? Where is my camera? It's not there. I don't have a camera on here because it's daft. Let's add this video capture device. Add device. Video capture device. There we am. There I am. Right. Okay. Let's start that again. Hello everyone. Welcome to Call It Crits. And yeah, let's. I don't want to waste too much time doing welcomes and stuff. I want to play. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can hear you, and everyone can hear everyone. It's great. It's all fun. All fun at the fair. Right. Okay. Let me just. What's going on now? Gonna move that on there. There we go. Sorry, my camera needed to be in the right place. There we go. Right. Okay. So, in our previous session, you guys fought off. Well, you had just attended Dondon's farewell funeral, and a lot of people had attended the funeral, including a lot of familiar faces from the past in the campaign. And after the funeral, and a lot of lovely words were said and things, you were all happened upon by what appeared to be four metallic dragons, one of which you recognised to be Gedris the Sharp, and they appeared to put you through a bit of a test, fighting against elementals, which all took sort of like shifted form, and took the form of the different breath weapons of the dragons that had created them, and yeah, so you fought these off, and eventually, after a long debate over whether a character can move and attack after being readied action, we we moved on, and you eventually found out that these dragons did mean well, and they were just testing you to make sure that you were as worthy as Dondon had said that you were worthy. They then presented you with gifts which had been provided by Dondon. Hang on one second. Dorothy wants to say goodnight. Hang on.
No problem.
Anyone listening, she is our unofficial 7th party member.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
MVP, definitely.
100%. Morlin, was you here for the end and the gift giving?
No. Wait.
No, I don't think I was.
Ah, right, okay, well, hopefully Phil can do the recap, and I can't remember what you got.
Oh wait, no, I was regarding the.
You was? Yes.
I think
Well, of course, because you got the languages and stuff, didn't you?
I did.
I think we actually ended after the gifts, didn't we? Because we all went on to celebrate.
We was going to go for a drink. Yeah, we was going to go for a week with the dragons.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're all caught up now. Yeah. I hope people do join us today. And instead of anyone who is watching, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a small indie game going on at the moment. You may or may not have heard of it. Baldur's Gate 3 are doing their newest announcement, so don't bother with them. Come and join us.
Yeah. Oh, like that's going to happen.
Baldur's Gate.
Whilst Phil's not here, one of the things that I've just been given as we've leveled up is the ability to observe or interact with anyone for a minute and get to find out two of their statistics. Are they the same as mine?
I'm very
less than
sorry,
mine,
guys.
or above mine? That'll be quite useful.
Oh dear. Right, I'm very sorry about that. She didn't want to go to bed because she was desperate to say good night to all of you.
Oh,
So,
you're honoured, Lester.
so I told her that you'd say good night. So yeah. Anyway, so yes. So you attended the funeral and everything, and you were given these gifts by the metallic dragons, the metallic order, who these gifts were basically passed on from Dondon. Those gifts came in the form of lots of different things. The Dragon Wing Bow, which was awarded to Raljin. The Dragon Vessel, which was awarded to Garroth. The Scaled Ornament, which was given to Yarn. The Dragon Senses, which was given to Alar. The Tongue of the Dragon, which was given to Morin. And the Draconic Familiar, which was given to Korvax. And yeah, so you got these lovely gifts, which was nice. Yeah, you then decided that you were going to head off and basically have a conversation with these guys. So there was Alric, Lviv, Gedris, and Omnia, who are the dragons in their human forms. So you left the courtyard and headed into the actual sort of like the university, the temple, I guess, the library, the places of study, but it's essentially the what would be the living quarters of Alric. And you sort of head on in, and it's late at night, so the halls, as you walk through, the sort of like that quiet sort of echo of your footsteps as you walk through in the what's now the empty halls, past all the books and up the staircase to a rather large sort of cylindrical room, which is sort of in the middle of this building. And as you sort of enter, it's kind of a bit like almost studio apartment-ish. So the bed, the everything is sort of in one room. So the bed, the living space, like the seats, bookshelves, a little kitchen area. It's all within one room. Not the toilet, obviously. That's not in the same room. There is actually a separate area for that. And a lot of it sort of like has cordoned off with lovely sort of like decorative sort of like blinders and shades, which sort of help to separate different parts of the room. You can tell that this is obviously where Arik spends most of his time in human form, and it is quite lavishly decorated with gold. There's a lot of gold picture frames, gold mirrors, and gold ornaments scattered around, with all encrusted with nice jewels and things. It feels quite rich to be in a place like this, especially when it appears to be sort of like inside a temple as well. Arik sort of like invites you all in, and Omnia just kind of walks in grandly in sort of like he kind of has to push through the door. He kind of walks sideways to get through the door. He's so large and heavy set. He kind of pushes sideways to go through the door, and Lviv just daintily walks in. And Arik sort of like gestures for you to come in. Says, "After you." As
We'll
you
go straight in, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You walk in, and yeah, like I said, it's as I described. There is a sort of like it's a large room. It's not by no means dinky. It's rather large. In fact, as you do walk in, you do feel like it feels a little bit bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside. And you're not sure if that's a mess of perspective or if there's some sort of magical component to that. But yeah, that's what you get. So he kind of goes over to the kitchen area and opens up a cabinet, sort of like an a whitewood cabinet with gold kind of like crosses going across the glass. He opens it up and takes out a decanter, crystal decanter with a sort of like a brown alcoholic liquid in there, and he takes a glass and places it down, and then goes into places the glass into a box. The box looks like it can only fit one glass in, and then he closes the lid on the box, opens it again, takes one glass out, closes the box, opens it again, and does this several times until he's got enough glasses for everybody. Almost like he's replicated the glass from the box. He lays them out and pours out the liquid and hands everyone this drink. It's got a whiskey smell to it.
Gareth downs his.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine he probably does.
Oh, that's a fine bit of stout.
It wasn't stout. It was very well aged whiskey. Would you like some?
Is that Bear Puncher? I only drink Bear Puncher.
We don't have any Bear Puncher whiskey. This is Eye of the Dragon. It's.
You have not lived.
I mean, I've tried Bear Puncher. It's not really to my taste. I like something a little richer, if I'm honest.
Oh no, are you going like these owls?
No. I mean, if you want to talk specifics, I guess it would be the elves that are going like me. But anyway, enough of that. Take a seat. I mean, if you can find one, there's actually plenty of places to sit. There's like a little dining table, a couple of comfy lounge chairs, and there's like an L-shaped, sofa type chair. It's kind of like a red velvet with a gold lining. And when you sit on it, you kind of slide a little, but you kind of get your groove and sit properly on it. Omnia just is already perched himself on the long part of the sofa with his feet up, and he's just kind of got some grapes that you don't know where he actually got them from, but he's just got some grapes and he's just kind of munching on those. You hear a sigh from Alric as he just takes a seat in what looks to be a well-worn seat. You can see it, probably one that he sits in a lot. There's a little small round coffee table next to it with a like a candle lantern and a book that's turned upside down, half read. So, you said you wanted to speak about Dondon. You wanted to have, you wanted to talk more about him.
Yeah. What was he like before all of this? He always seemed so serious.
I mean, he was probably the most serious of us all. He had a lot on his mind. He always carried a heavy burden. He always felt that, everyone else went first before him, and it looked like it weighed heavy on him. He, I think he changed mostly when the humans came across from Lupercalia, and he spent a lot more time observing when it was the tribes and the serpent kin. But when the humans came across and civilization kind of took hold, that's when he became more involved, should we say. Not that we tried to stop him. It's within his very nature. He craves knowledge. He craves understanding. Me, I prefer the riches. But he that was kind of the when he changed. When the humans came across, not necessarily in a bad way, but just I think he grew up a little bit more then, I guess. He kind of takes a sip of his whiskey and just he almost kind of stares off as if he's remembering things, but he stays quiet.
I'll take a sip as well. And how does it taste?
It's got that strong whiskey taste that kind of catches the back of your throat. There's almost like a sweetness to it, and that kind of comes in afterwards, and it kind of goes from that rough to the smooth very quickly, and it's very pleasurable on the tongue.
Oh, that is good.
Mm.
I'm just going to kind of nod my head in appreciation.
Oh, absolutely. I save it for the best occasions. I don't keep all of it here. I have my own stash somewhere else. It's not something you can get these days. Once made by the Serpent Kin and perfected by... He kind of looks over to Omnia, who's still eating his grapes. No. Perfected by Omnia. He's quite good at this kind of thing.
So, was this given to you as a gift by the Serpent Folk?
Yes, by the Shirak. I've forgotten the blooming thing. Yeah, I can't even pronounce it. Help me, Elwin. You're my only hope.
The
Shirak.
Sharak?
Shirak. Yes, yes. It was gifted to me by the Shirak. Well, thousand or so years ago. Time does fly.
Sounds much like us. Sounds much like my people.
Hmm. It's a shame what happened to them, but anyway, your people. You look gnomish.
I am indeed a gnome. What I am not is of the gnome people. Unfortunately, they saw my pursuits as nothing worth studying, nothing worth pursuing, shall I say. They're one of the last of the Naga, and one of the last priestesses of Shekinester saw more value in me. Hence, I am more aligned with the serpents than I am with the gnomes.
The Naga, they were created by the Shuruk, weren't they?
They were a guardian race and a protector of knowledge.
They got up to They got up to a lot, the Naga, in their years since their creation.
They did. Just truly unfortunate it had to end the way it did.
They lasted longer than their predecessors. Just the Temple of Ayun and the Temple of Shekinester never really got along. Well, not all of the time. There was a dark time of Shekinester when, I don't know, you probably already know all of this anyway, but
I know of the harrowing. I know of the cull of knowledge. I know of the tax that was put upon by the worshippers of Ayun and the worshippers of Shekinester, so that one would never know more than the other.
there was that, of course.
Sorry, I just ad-libbed and I hope that was okay.
No, it's fine. Some might say that the worshippers of Shekinester, the Naga, maybe took it a little too far. Of course, being a priest of Ayun, I believe that all knowledge is to be shared. All knowledge is to be... It's a commonwealth. It's something that we should all have, we're all entitled to, and we should all be gained access to. Unfortunately, Shekinester doesn't always see it that way. I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries. I know that you and, your goddess, you obviously have a strong bond, especially if you are the last of her worshippers. I don't think I've ever met another worshipper of Shekinester in quite some time. But
I believe in the preservation of knowledge cost us more than I think we were ever prepared to lose. But, and Morin sort of like affixes his pipe, takes his smoking pipe out from his pack and starts filling it. Says, I have come to the moderate belief, similar to what you and your clergy preach, that knowledge is but a powerful common asset, provided that everyone can be trusted to utilise it the way it is used.
That is one of the things, that's one of the beliefs that the Naga had, that knowledge should only be held by the people that have the responsibility to wield it, or the responsibility to use it. But the only issue that we had, was that the Naga then started taking that knowledge and locking it away under lock and key so that no one could have access to it. Dondon had an issue with this specifically, which I'm guessing that's maybe how you two know each other, but he
London's desire to take more knowledge than what we could have given brought me and him together in the first instance. A great theological debate, some would describe it. But I have grown and aged since then. I'm wiser than I was.
Did Dondon reach out to you before reaching out to us?
To me?
To all of your kind. He was very, very concerned about the situation that brought us together.
He never reached out to us. But I think that because over the years he kind of knew that a lot of us remained neutral on the grounds of how this civilization was to develop. I mean, I've stayed here within Ashenok, or within the area, for quite some time, and I've just remained, well, just to myself, to be honest. Gedris, he kind of looks over, and Gedris is just sat there sort of listening intently. Gedris, or Krinkash, as you've known him as well, spent his time in the Amora Bastor, watching over the druids. Well, not watching over, but just hanging around. Krinkash is just like, yeah, they just get up to stuff. And Lviv has been spending a lot of time in Odessa. We don't tend to get involved. We just try and just coexist. Dondon got involved, which is why he would have brought you together. And I'm not saying that that my views are perfect. I know that Dondon has his reasons for for how he went about things, but if it were me, personally, I would have let civilization grow in the way that it's intended. But
Even if it involves one of your distant kin.
What do you mean?
There's a chromatic dragon involved.
Which chromatic dragon?
What's her name?
She had an organisation known as Veracity back in her, a green dragon. Her intent was not polite, to say the least.
No. There was also, we think, a black and a red involved, and I'm just going to look over to Krinkash and say, your cards came in rather handy there.
Yeah, but I totally killed her.
Krinkash is like, well, it's good that they came in handy, but I did tell you about the Black Dragon, didn't I? We were speaking about that when you met me in the Amora Bastor, and you mentioned the Green Dragon, and I had to ponder about that, Auric. And the description they gave, they said that she was called Valerie, but I didn't know any dragons by the name of Valerie. I did a bit of research. I spoke with the Dragonborn as well. They have quite an extensive library, and we had a look into it, and the description sounds an awful lot like Vestra. Which, well, that's impossible, isn't it? Vestra died a long time ago. Arix, kind of... Yes, she perished at the hand of you, wasn't it, Omni? Yeah. Yeah, we fought. And she, broke her neck. Yeah. That's,
Insight check.
Yeah, give me an insight check as he's talking.
Can I make one as well?
Yeah, give me everyone everyone that's like listening to him at the moment, you can absolutely give me an inside check if you like.
That is an 18
16.
from Morin.
18, 16, dice are rolling.
Insight, where's insight? I forgot. Oh, there it is. That is 17.
17.
16.
Okay, all of you. He seems really like shifty all of a sudden. The grapes are kind of to the side, and you can tell that almost as soon as the name Vestra came up and his name kind of got thrown in there, he looked a little on edge.
Now, I turn towards. Is it Omnia?
Yes, Omnia.
Omnia, we are on the doorstep of much trouble with mortal beings. Honesty about the ongoings of an ancient dragon, much like yourself, who is not aligned with our people living the way that they have, would be fantastic information now.
Especially since it indirectly or directly even led to the death of one of your own.
Oh god. Well, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. We fought. She was camping out on a hillside, and she was, disturbing some of the local towns. This was years ago, Arik. I told you about this. Arik says, Omnia, we're going to need to know the information exactly what happened. If Vestra was alive, if she is alive, then she's been going about everything she's been doing undetected by the Order. He kind of stops and stands up and says, all right. So, I'm pretty sure I broke her neck. But, there was a storm coming in, and there were people there, and I'd left my hordes unguarded for quite some time. I needed to get back to it. I may not have checked if she was dead.
Seems like a pretty careless thing to do for one of your kind. You are notorious for being hardy and incredibly difficult to fight in combat.
Yeah, well, when we're fighting each other, it's different, isn't it?
Gareth goes, not that difficult.
You just kind
Yes,
of
Gareth, it's not that difficult for you, Gareth, Chief of the Slaughterhouse. But for everyone else, it's really difficult.
Alric just says, Omnia, this is really hard to swallow. If you assured me that you had taken care of her, you assured me that she was dead. The things that she was doing, they were unspeakable. They were evil. You know as well as I do, as well as Lviv and Gedris, you know that she needed to be put down. And you didn't even check that she was dead. Just leave. He's like, alright, I'll leave. He stands up and goes to walk towards the door and says, he turns around and just says, I guess I'll see you in another century. Opens the door and walks out. Really calm, just as if it was just a normal thing.
I'm gonna go after him. I'll put my glass down and kind of just nod.
Korvax,
Ulrich.
there's no point. Just let him go.
I'll pick up my glass then.
I do apologise. Sorry, I didn't mean it to get a bit any grim. Just
Dragon folk, there is the high probability of an inter-kingdom war coming up. We're looking for answers, we're looking for allies, and we're looking for the target of what we need to deal with to ensure that much death and suffering does not fall upon Accalia. Any ally we can get, irrespective of if their actions were not perfect at the time, is incredibly useful. I understand for hierarchy and for, I presume, a very old, exposed mistrust that has formed. You would send away your colleague, but if they're able to provide us with any information that will help us further a peaceful existence between all species, surely we could utilise it. I'm going to use a persuasion roll to ask if we can bring this guy back in the room in the first instance of me using advantage because of my dragon ability.
okay.
Use their own shit on them.
Yeah.
That's a 14 on advantage.
14 on advantage.
Yeah.
You seriously think that we should actually bring him back in? What would you want to speak to him about? What would you want to say to him?
I'd want to know where she frequented, what heinous things she was doing, which I could learn from you. I would like to learn from all of you. And most importantly, where each of you thinks she can find and what she once did compared to what she does now.
I would also like to think. I believe that you were friends and allies of London, but I struggle to believe that one of your own would neglect to such important information as the fact she may not be dead because of a horde. I understand that you're very possessive creatures, that you value what you value, as do we all to some extent. But if this dragon, if she's as dangerous as you say, and you all know it, then surely there was another reason for not telling us, and we need to know what.
Not just that, if he's had any other dealings with her or anybody else, your neutrality as a faction, for want of a better term, is all but over. I mean, under those circumstances, wouldn't you say you would be almost duty bound to rectify any mistakes that have been made?
You can roll persuasion as well.
17... 18.
Okay. Very well. I'll call him back, but I don't see what good it will do at this point. He places his hand on his head and just begins to whisper. It's almost like a ascending spell.
Is it intrachronic?
It is intrachronic, yes.
Can I know what it says, please, Phil?
He basically says, Omnia, we need you to return. We need an explanation for what happened other than you were guarding your horde. He pauses for a moment. And then the door opens again. In walks Omnia, still in human form, of course. And
is he walking the same way? Same mannerisms?
Give me an insight check.
It's not as good. That's 15, 16, 17... 17.
17. Yeah, he appears to be the same mannerism, the same sort of... Yeah, it's almost a little sheepish. in the way that he's walking. He walks into the room and says, "Look, Alric, I feel ashamed by what I've done. Can't you just let me leave and just be done with it? I can atone some other way."
Did you spare her?
What?
Did you spare her?
Of course I didn't. Why would I spare such a creature?
Rick, we are not here to interrogate you. We are here to find out what exact condition exactly she is in.
I'm gonna aid Mulwyn in that persuasion check there, and I'm just gonna look up at him and give him the big goo eyes and just say, "She's partially responsible for my father's death. Any information you can give us would be appreciated."
She was...
Oh, do I roll with advantage, or is it?
Yeah, roll with advantage.
What we like to see. That is a 17.
Okay. He stops and just thinks, says, It was such a long time ago. She'd crossed over into a domain that wasn't hers. She was bewitching and creating what appeared to be some sort of a group, I guess, within the towns. This was quite shortly after the humans had come and settled over. It was like she was trying to grow her own allyship. People that she could mold and manipulate.
Was the group called Veracity by any chance?
No, that's not a name that came up for a long time after. She didn't have a name for it at the time. She was collating, and then anyone that didn't join her, she killed. She took everything that they had. But took down whole settlements. And, well, I guess it amounted to her horde. It's all about the horde. That's how I knew she was dead, you see. That's how... Because her horde is now mine. I took it. I assumed she never came back for it. So therefore, she must have been dead.
What was in her horde?
Oh, treasures. Gold.
No.
Silver.
Well, this green dragon seems more interested in traditional power than shiny object.
Namely, she is interested in influencing the throne and its next ruler.
Look,
That could
I
lead to more treasure.
can't pretend that I don't feel like an absolute fool right now. To learn that she wasn't dead. To learn that I hadn't performed the duty that I'd said I had. That's... He looks over at Auric. That makes me feel like a failure. And here I am, having to explain myself to mortals.
Mortals who have already done a considerable amount of work to rectify the wrongs that have been caused.
The work you've done in your time amounts to nothing in comparison to what we have done over the last 1,000 or so years.
Are you familiar with the Naga expression? It means I am not attempting a pissing contest.
I think your hisses can't be heard over your microphone, which is a shame, because
Ah,
it's like whenever he goes quiet, he must be hissing.
He must... a normal reaction for Ash on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Why is this about the camera again? Okay, so pretend you heard a hiss. That one was quite good as well.
Oh,
So I know. Let down everyone. Let's just stop playing D&D. Anyway. So we are not here for a pissing contest. You live a immeasurably longer amount of time than the majority of us. In fact, all of us in this room who are mortal. However, we have a common goal here, which is not to see destruction of the planet that we live on. And continuous action by hostile entities generally causes widespread destruction. Hence, we are looking for information that we can use to better and protect this world. Even with our, and Maureen's quite facetious, even with our insignificant lives.
He kind of looks, and he kind of looked in agreement as your last statement, and you can kind of tell that he's ancient. He's an ancient dragon, so he does, as all dragons do, look down upon lesser creatures, I guess. So it is almost like talking to ants for him, and the rest of them, although they show more respect than he does. He acknowledges what you say, and then just says, "You want information? The last place I was when I killed her was somewhere in between what would now be Rilborn and Thistenhorn. There were a few settlements around there that she laid waste to. I protected them. I intervened. It's against my
When
better
was this?
nature, but... Sorry?
At what point in history was this? Would we say that were the serpent folk at their full power at that
Oh,
time?
no, the serpent folk had long gone by then. This is about a quarter of a millennia ago. What's that,
Okay.
250 of your years?
250 mortal years.
Now, if she's been alive this whole time, I mean, God knows what she's been getting up to. I don't know how she's managed to operate underneath my watchful eye.
You said yourself you don't interfere. If you're actively not looking for her, then why wouldn't she draw your attention?
Good point.
We have stumbled across something quite significant lately.
What's that?
There's a group operating within the Thieves Guilds who are meddling in demon summoning. And Raljin, I'm just going to nod. Do you have that letter that you picked up?
Oh, it's with my stuff at home.
Okay, briefly, I'm going to just take a moment, outline what happened in the Gorge, mention about Serenity and her talking about an ascension, and also point out that we'd met and dealt with a Baelor as well.
Alric listens to everything that you say and just pipes up and says, "Well, an ascension could be almost anything. It could be looking for godhood, could be celestialism, could be anything. What exactly was part of this ascension? Do you know any of its components? Anything that she needed? Is it just the word ascension?
Gems.
Is that all?
Lots and lots of gems.
It could still mean one of many things.
I think I'm going back over it in my head about what happened. So we went to the guild I'll mention the summoning of the beasts that stopped the carriage. See if that jogs any memories.
The Zorn.
Yeah. They seemed to be concerned that the Zorn attacked, and they didn't seem to think it was an accident.
Well, no, of course
So-
not. Zorn, they're summoned. You know, they don't just happen across the prime material plane. Usually, the Zorn are brought here on purpose, or anything from any other plane, to be honest. Unless, of course, there was a. Go on.
Am I right in thinking the Zorn, they eat gems, don't they? They eat
Yes.
stones and valuable gems.
Yes.
But they're not compelled with a personality. They're like mindless creatures that eat rocks. I am right in thinking that, aren't I?
Yes, that's essentially what they are. Yes.
Then in that instance, why, if the Baylor's Infernals were interested in the large deposit of gems that we had cured, why would somebody else be attacking them with a creature that will consume them?
Unless,
I've
of
not thought
course,
about this.
unless of course your mystery people that summoned the Zorn were deliberately doing that to impede the journey of your, what do you call them, the Infernals?
Yes, they were the subsection of the Thieves Guild who were interested in who were an infernal cult.
Hmm. So it looks like you may have got yourself caught in the middle of some sort of, well, some battle within the Thieves Guild, perhaps.
Now, forgive me, we are currently in your library. Am I right in thinking that?
These are my living quarters. I do have some books, but if you want, more knowledge, we are, above the library, I guess, in a way.
I ask your permission as a cleric of a deity who also has a curiosity for knowledge and using it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I would like some time to ascertain the conditions that somebody would require to summon these forms of creatures across planar boundaries, to see if I can triangulate what somebody would need to do and try and narrow down what magic users would be potential culprits, to work out who the other side of the coin is. Would you grant me the permission to your book?
You can have permission to use the library, of course.
I appreciate
Merlin,
that.
when you're cross-referencing, see if there's any references to the dragon heads we found in the ravine. That may be playing a part.
Dragon's heads.
Well, cool.
Alric kind of stops you. You can tell he knows very little about kind of what you've been through and like the deeds of Dondon and things. Because a lot of the stuff that you're bringing up, he doesn't really know much about. So as soon as you mention the dragon's heads, he kind of stops and says, "Hang on, dragon's heads? What do you mean?" Somebody going to pipe up? Or have I lost connection again? Oh dear. Hang on a second.